and crank the music up. My speakers bang, she know the fuck I hit the blunt and I forgot to show up.
All right, and welcome back to another episode of the Perspective Podcast, Sports Edition, episode 16. I think we're gonna call this one "Coming of Age." I think that's the appropriate title for this episode right here. And so we call this one episode 16 of the Perspective Podcast, uh, "Coming of Age." In this one here, I feel like so much has happened, Tevin. So much has happened since the last recording of May 18th. Really since the play-in. But before we get into all that, bro, how you doing? How you feeling?
I'm good, man. Just getting over a little sore throat with this little weather change, but I've been other than that, I'm doing fine, bro.
Good, man. Good. I hope you shake back soon, man. I hope you shake back. Nobody like being sick, especially during the summer.
Worst part of the year to be sick.
Facts. So we're gonna pretty much recap round one for the A block of the show. And then we're gonna move on to round two, and then we got some other stuff here on the back end of the show. So first up, we're gonna start with the sweep, with the only sweep of round one on either side of the bracket. I hate the Bucks, but the Bucks swept the Heat, made quick work of them. You have any? Do you do you have much on this one, because that was quick work?
Not too much. That the just that the Bucks, I feel like overmatched the Heat, and I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was because they had a short off season and players came back early and was tired, but that wasn't the same Heat team. It was nowhere near the same Heat team that we saw last year. And I was watching the games, and they lose. They lost every game by 30 points. So I just turned off all of them.
Yeah.
So I went and looked back at the stats that everybody had, and they wasn't impressed. Wasn't impressive, and I wasn't impressed because Tyler Hero, the bubble hero, the guy who's supposed to be next up,
The piece.
he was 12 of 38 for the series. He only played over 20 minutes twice, and he had 6 assists in 4 games.
Wow.
Then superstar Jimmy Butler, who wants max dollars, he was 19 to 64, and he never scored over 20 points in any game. Starting power forwards, well, the power forward spot, which has always been a hole for the Heat since pretty much LeBron left, Iggy and Ariza, 34 points combined the whole series.
Oh my goodness, you're not beating anybody.
With your starting and your backup power forward scoring 34 combined points. And then the shooter Duncan Robinson, he had one good game. The first game of the season series, he had like 24. Mm-hmm. He was 4 of 16 his last 3 games. So those are pretty much 4 of your 5 main players, and they played terrible, all of them. And Jimmy, I watched him, and I think his knees, it looked like his knees was done after game 1. I was like, he ain't got no lift, he ain't got no drive, he can't do nothing out there. And I knew they were about to get beat down, and Milwaukee did what they were supposed to do, beat him up real quick, fast, get him out of here, and move on to the next round.
Move on to the next. Yep, you ain't lying. That's pretty much what it was. Chris Middleton. I just remember Chris Middleton. He hit a really tough fade, like elbow jumper to pretty much win game. Well, to win game 1. That was pretty much the game winner. And then from that point, you could really just tell Miami was deflated from that point forward. The Bucks did what they had to do, as you stated. They went in, punched the Heat in the mouth, and got ready for round 2 super fast. You know what I mean? Like. I'm glad a lot of those games weren't on national TV like that, because it was just a super waste of time. And I absolutely hate those Miami Heat mustard colored jerseys. They look like the Pacers out there. It's not a good look. And even those other jerseys that they have going on too. So it's kind of crazy. But yeah, that's pretty much all I have for the Heat. And those numbers that they have there, that's abysmal. Tyler Hero not averaging 20 points per game. Pat Riley, you should have pulled the trigger, trade Tyler Hero for James Harden. Maybe things would have ended up a bit different. But if you want to hold on to the future, I respect it, but it is what it is. Here we are. You have to enjoy the offseason. So
enjoy Miami.
Yeah.
It's open now. Hey, it's lit for it.
Yeah, you might as well go ahead and enjoy it. You look like 1, 2, 3 Cancun. So that was that's it for the first round for the Bucks and the Heat. Then moving on to the to the other matchup in the Eastern Conference, one of the other matchups, the Nets and the Celtics. The Nets ended up taking out the Celtics in 5. I think that was expected, especially after the Jaylen Brown season-ending wrist injury that he had. And to be honest, I really don't remember James Harden playing much in that one either. But we'll get into James in a bit later on in the show. But the Nets did what they had to do. Jason Tatum had a great game 4 where he served up KD 50 if I remember correctly. It was either game 4 or game 3. But he definitely served up. He gave KD 50. The C's ended up getting 1, and the Celtics are pretty much broken from that point forward. What do you what you have on that?
Pretty much that it was a mismatch offensively, trying to guard Tatum, Kyrie, and Harden, especially when Durant. Wait, who I said? I said Tatum. I meant KD, Kyrie, and Harden. Especially when KD was playing how he was playing. I think he shot like 70% for the series, which is ridiculous. And Kyrie took over a couple games too, and he was just dominating. And Boston was just overmatched. Especially when Kemba got hurt, they really had no chance. It was all Tatum the whole time. And I mean, he stepped up and did what they had to do for one game, but I mean, you can't do that for 4 or 5 straight games with an elite team and expect to win. So that's pretty much it for that. The better team just took care of business. They could have swept them, but I guess they kind of played around that. Well, Tatum had 50, and they kind of was like, all right, if he gonna go off like this, we know we're gonna beat him anyway. Just let him have this day, and then we'll just beat him the next time. So that's all I really had on that one. Not too much to look into.
Yeah, not too much for that one too. Kyrie had his comments about Boston fans, which that's notorious. Maybe in all Boston sports, but that kind of leads back to a fans topic that we'll get into later on in the show as well. But so Nets take out the Celtics in 5, Bucks take out the Heat in 4. Then the last 2 matchups in the Eastern Conference were kind of interesting, especially the Hawks and the Knicks matchup there as well. So what you got on the Hawks and Knicks?
I watched every game. It was good. I like the dynamic. It was offense against defense, pretty much. It was Trae Young flashiness against the Knicks grittiness, and it was a good. And I like that they didn't like each other. Like it felt good to know that was real healthy competition. Like, no, I want to beat you. Like we think we better than you, and they were like, we think we better than you, and so we gonna see, with the best team go in. I was the Knicks had a great season though. I was a little disappointed because I thought that in the playoffs I thought they could have won more than just that one game.
Thanks.
Did they win? Did they win one?
One. Yeah, they got one.
I thought they could have. I thought it was gonna go at least 6, but they didn't have the offense and they didn't have the depth. Like if Derrick Rose and Taj Gibson, 2 of your 3 best players in 2021, that's saying a lot.
Yeah.
Because Taj Gibson ain't been good since I don't know when, and Derrick Rose MVP back in 2011?
11.
Yeah, that's 10 years ago. And that ain't the same dude with multiple injuries. So I was kind of sad about that. But on the other hand, the Hawks showed you like all the firepower that they got. Like they got scoring everywhere. Trae can give it to you. Bogdanovich gonna give it to you. Hunter can make some threes. Gallinari off the bench, he can make some shots. Collins, he averaged he's a good 20 and 10 player.
Lou Will off the bench.
Oh, I forgot they had Lou Will till the last game against the Knicks. He made a 3, and I was like, wait, I forgot they don't even be playing Lou Will like that.
6-man.
But right, they got Lou Will, and everybody forget Cam Reddish hurt.
Yeah,
he ain't even playing. He was starting, so they got a lot of young talent, and they have a very bright future. And we're gonna touch on it later about their next matchup because, as you see today, they put off upset against the number 1 seed. Mm-hmm. So the Hawks, they looking real tough, and I like little Ice Trae. I like his demeanor. I like his swag, and he's the new, I guess we could call him a villain. are the bad boy of the NBA right now.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a fact. Like the Hawks definitely did the Hawks took out the Knicks in 5. The Hawks showed in this round that they're way more of a deeper team, as you stated. And just especially whenever they made that coaching change, they moved from Lloyd Pierce and they moved over to Nate McMillan. They really made like a push further up the ladder in the Eastern Conference. Yes, the Knicks had the number 4 seed. They had home court advantage this time around, but the Hawks are only going to get better as things go on. And Ice Trae, how he handled that Knicks crowd from just the presence of the Garden, like the Garden being like it, having fans. First of all, having fans back in the arenas feels so good to hear
Right.
crowds and real noise instead of like that generated pumped in stuff. So it's good to hear that. That's number one. Number two, with how Trae embraced everything that came with that, like being center stage, being in MSG, being the villain, being the bad guy, like the Knicks fans are giving the Knicks a standing ovation, like to close out
Right.
the season, and Trae shoots the 3 from the logo. Like I love all that. Like I love
Mhm.
I love all that. So I'm really impressed with what the Hawks have going on, and yeah, just moving forward, they look like one of the teams of the future. So that was a really really good matchup, and I'm proud of what Trae has become, especially with that trade on draft night. But we'll get into that too. Um, then the last matchup over there in the Eastern Conference, we had 76ers and the Wizards. That one was kind of it went expected, but I don't think it went exactly how we expected on the back end of it. With I think that was game 1 or game 2, one of the fans, Russ like twisted his ankle. It was going out into the back into the locker room when the fans like poured popcorn down the chute,
Oh yeah.
landed on his head and all that stuff. That's disgusting. Like, get the fan out of here for forever. Then later on in the series, Brad had a really good series. Bradley Beal had a really good series. Russ still had a good series. And then on the back end of it, Joel Embiid has a small tear in his right meniscus. That's an injury I've had. Hurts like hell. And even we have some Ben Simmons questions now. So,
Mhm.
what's your take on that one?
Yeah, like you said, it went pretty much how everybody thought it was gonna be because talent wise, they was just outmatched. It was like 2 against 10.
Yeah.
and that's all they could do. They did all they could do. But the questions that came out of it, number one is gonna be his knee. Like how good is that gonna be for the next? You're trying to make it to the finals. Like how good is that knee gonna be, and how long is it gonna hold up? Like is it gonna get better? Is it gonna have to take a game off in one of these series? Like what's going on with that? That's probably the biggest question, right? But another big question is the Ben Simmons free throw shooting
Abysmal.
because it was terrible. I wrote
And
that.
continue.
I took notes on this too. I was like, we gonna talk about this.
Run the numbers.
And the number one pick in the draft, your 6'10" point guard is shooting 36% from the free throw line.
Hey, hey.
10 of 28. At one point, he was 5 of 20. I don't know how you that bad of a free throw shooter. Like, I can't imagine him being that. I can't even imagine him shooting that bad from the free throw line. But
In
that's
real
got to
life.
get fixed. Right, that's got to get fixed. Because if you already don't shoot from the perimeter, all you do is drive. So when you drive, they're just gonna foul you, and then you go to the free throw line missing free throws. And now they putting it late in games when y'all up and down, they gonna hack you, and
Fouling
then
you.
you go to the line missing 2, making 1 or 2, missing another 2. Like
It's getting bad.
that mess up your offense. Number one, and number two, like that makes the coach like
Can't play him.
right. But I can't play the second best player on my team.
Yeah.
Like,
So with this Ben Simmons thing, right? And this goes back to whenever both of us were in BR, right? Whenever both of us were in BR, and we kind of noticed this thing with Ben Simmons, like he may have had early release from certain classes, and he just decided to hang out, you know what I'm saying, like at the mall and stuff, and like he's on the hoverboard with headphones on, not showing love to anybody, versus when he could have been in the gym or the rec working on your free throws, working on some form of your game. Maybe even he could have even switched hands at this point in his career, because what, this may be year 4, year 5 that he's been in the league. So
2013, 20, no, not 2013, 2015.
no, that was 16. That was 16. Whenever
16?
yeah, because him, Leonard Fournette,
Okay,
Alex
correct.
Lynch, like all of them were on campus, like all at the same time. So so at this point, regardless, like if you 4 years, 5 years into your career, you're first of all, number one, you're afraid to take a jumper. Number two, your free throws have gone down since you've been in the league. Maybe at this point, you may have to switch hands. Like you may have to take the Tristan Thompson approach. You may have to take the Elfrid Payton approach. You may have to go from your left hand with your shooting hand to the right hand. And Ben, he's got to figure that out, because being 6'10", being a point guard, like you said, not being able to be on the floor in crunch time, 2 minutes to go, hack a Ben, hack a Shack, whatever you want to call it, it's not good. Like you're taking away size from Philly, you're taking away athleticism from Philly, and like you said, your second best player can't be on the floor. What good are you? Like
Who's
what
your
good?
only real playmaker besides the one you trust? Because you don't really trust Maxey and Shake Milton or George Hill to really, to make some good plays. Being the only one you really trust with the ball in his hand.
Exactly, because I mean, you just expect Tobias. I look at Tobias Harris as like the 3-point line and inward. That's what he does. He's not, like you said, he's not setting up plays outside on the perimeter, outside behind the timeline. Like he's not setting up anything for anybody. So yeah, it's Ben Simmons. He definitely has some things that, well, multiple things that he has to work on, and somebody either needs to get into his ear, or maybe even change a scenery change may be the best thing for him. Because that Philly fans are hardcore as they come. Like I would put Philly fans right up there next to Knick fans, Laker fans. Like I think those are the 3 strongest fan bases, or passionate fan bases, that let their displeasure be known. Whether if it's from football to basketball, baseball, hockey, whatever. Like Philly fans will let you know. Especially if you know some Philly fans, and for the Eagles, then they share that same sentiment for the Sixers. So they definitely have some more work to do. And going back to Embiid with the torn meniscus, kind of recapping, just kind of hint at game 1 today against the Hawks. He hung out a lot on the perimeter in like the first 3 quarters. He didn't really like go down there in the blocks. It's like, come on, bro, like Clint Capella's down there. But we'll get into that a bit more. But that Joel hanging out on the perimeter like that told me a lot about his knee. That told me a lot about his knee as far as how he's feeling and stuff. So
he did look good though. Like he was, even though with the knee, he was real efficient.
Yeah, he had about
and the field. And he had 35, something like that.
Yeah, he had about 30. I think he had 39 and 10 today. He had about 39 and 10 today. So I mean, he did look good down the stretch. Fourth quarter, I think Doc really like put the battery in his back, told him, yo, like, go eat down there on the block, bro. Like, go to work. You know what I'm saying? And then that helped trim that big lead that the Hawks had. But that's pretty much it for the Eastern Conference for the first round. You have anything else that was just kind of on the mind there for the remainder of the Eastern Conference?
No, not too much. No, not too much. Just want to, now we can get into the I guess the
varsity
interesting first round matchups that happened in the West Coast.
Go ahead, take it away.
So I guess we can start off with the Jazz and the Grizz.
Yeah.
We can recap that one a little bit. So what were your thoughts about that one?
Jazz and Grizz. Everybody knows I hate Utah. I hate Utah the same way as I hate Milwaukee.
I forgot who I'm talking
to. I like, me and Shaq share the same sentiment. Like, I absolutely hate Utah. Like, it's nothing about Utah that I like at all. However, they did beat the Grizzlies in 5. The Grizzlies got game 1. Spider Mitchell did not play game 1 due to like an ankle injury or something like that, and it was kind of like a back and forth between Spider and the training staff or the medical staff. He was cleared to play game 1, then he didn't play game 1. The Grizzlies went in there and punched him in the mouth for game 1. They ended up taking that W. But from that point on, it was Jazz. It was all Jazz forward. I know Mike Conley had he had a really good game in game 4, the last game over there at in Memphis. So it looks like he was very familiar with the rim, with the rims over there in that gym. So that's pretty much it. So Jazz did what they had to do. Salute to them.
The only thing I think about that is like how impressed I was I was really impressed with the Jazz, because when I was watching it, I was like, man, like they probably have one of the better rosters to fit how the NBA's play right now. You got you got guards who can penetrate and shoot. You got wing players who can shoot and make plays, and you got some stretch bigs that can shoot consistently, and then you got a rim protector. I'm like, they pretty much have everything you need to win a championship, and they got bench scoring too, which is very key. So you don't lose them leads that your starters be getting, and your starters get that rest. So that's what really impressed me, especially with some of the teams that went out in the first round. How Utah is looking a lot better in people's eyes, especially to represent that West. And also kudos to the Grizzlies, because I think that they weren't supposed to be here this fast. They weren't supposed to be in the playoffs yet, because Golden State was hurt. And, well, Golden State was hurt. San Antonio had a down year. People were hurt. Pelicans, well, they do what the Pelicans always do. And
it's the truth.
And it was good to see them get that experience early, especially we got to kind of see what Ja was made out of.
Absolutely.
And I like everything about his game except he's not aggressive enough. If he was more aggressive, I feel like because if he played more like how a young Derrick Rose played, was just like drive first, get yours first, and because he is a natural great passer. Like get yours, just drive to the goal, and let all the other stuff open up. Because he's on his trajectory, his ceiling is very high.
He can get MVP one day.
Right.
I see him claiming MVP one day.
Because he's that good he's a natural point guard, but he got that athleticism of the Westbrooks and the Derrick Roses, which is very rare to have that IQ and that athleticism all in one package. He's just skinny, and he's not as aggressive as he should be. But I think when it finally clicks, because he's still young, it's gonna click one day that okay, they really can't stop me. Like they can't guard me one-on-one. So if I just run by them every single time, that's gonna open up all this other stuff. And they got to get up some shooters though, some real shooters to open up that lane. But they do that, they gonna be tough in the future too.
Yeah, absolutely. That's and that's what I was telling some of the homies out here. Like I see, being a Bulls fan, I see so much of Derrick Rose in Ja. Like I see, and at this stage in his career, Ja's jumper is better than Derrick's jumper. Like already. Like, and even in the playing game against the Warriors kept leaving him open. He was like, I'm gonna keep shooting him. I'm gonna keep knocking him down. So I was super impressed. I was more impressed with the Grizzlies more than what I was for the Jazz, because Jazz being the number 1 seed pretty much overall in the playoffs, definitely just in the Western Conference. The Jazz did what they had to do, but I was more so impressed with the Grizzlies. As you stated, they just need to add a couple more pieces around. I think Jaren Jackson will be better. He's coming off of a meniscus tear as well, and another, I think, an ankle injury also. So he'll be better going forward. Valanciunas, he'll be better going forward as well. He's getting playoff experience, and that entire Grizzlies team, like they're on pace to do some really good things. So I like what the Grizz have going on. Salute to them. And hopefully, you know what I'm saying, they be back in the mix pretty soon.
Mm-hmm.
So then that takes us out to I would say the best 3 remaining series there in the playoffs. The Suns take out the Lakers in 6. I don't really remember our picks from round 1. I think I rolled with LeBron on this one, but I'm not mad. I'm not I'm not mad like at all. So I'm not mad at what the Suns did here. So what's your takeaway from the Suns and Lakers?
My takeaway is that injuries dictated the series. Uh, Chris Paul got hurt, and salute to him for being able to play through that. Because I know he was put. Because them first was I know once he first got hurt, he was terrible. He couldn't do nothing in game two. And after the first half of game one, he couldn't do nothing. Game two, he couldn't do nothing. Game three, it was okay. He started shaking back in game three, and then 4 and 5, he was pretty much back to his normal self, except he couldn't shoot from three.
Yeah.
But the first 3 games, he was bad, and the Lakers didn't take advantage of this. Now I'm trying to watch this as a fan, but I gotta also watch it because I naturally just analyze every little thing.
Same.
I don't understand this. All right, this is my rant, my rant about coaches and stuff. They have like 25 assistant coaches on each team. What are they there for? You can clearly see. I'm watching this from home. Chris Paul cannot do anything going right.
Yep.
You cut off the left, make him go right every single time. What was he gonna do? Nothing, because he could not shoot with the right arm. He was gonna have to pass, or he was gonna throw up a bad shot and miss the whole goal because he didn't have the strength to shoot the ball. And I'm watching from home, like, y'all seriously, nobody has the LeBron's supposed to have. I'm getting on LeBron, that's my dog, but nobody has the IQ. It was like, wait, he can't shoot. Make him use that arm. Like, drove me.
Yeah.
Every game.
They didn't run him into screens. They didn't do nothing like to further injure the arm. Nothing.
No, nothing. I'm like, just do this one thing. I'm like, if y'all just make him go right, y'all will be okay. Just make him go right and don't let him go left. Because if he go left, he can pass to the left. He can finish with the left. He can still get in the lane and do some stuff with that hand. But if you cut that off, but if you cut that off, it ain't. If you cut that off, he gonna try to go back to the left. But that pissed me off for the Lakers, despite the fact, and that was even before AD got hurt.
Yeah.
Once AD went down, it was downhill from there. Because even when you saw AD after game 3, it was a wrap.
Oh,
they couldn't guard him no more until he got hurt. But so, in my opinion, if he wouldn't got hurt, they would have won him. And in 4, they would have won in 5.
Yeah.
No, it wasn't going past 6, but AD got hurt, so that put a lot of pressure on LeBron. But you saw the Lakers' flaws, and but before we talk about the Lakers' flaws, let's give Phoenix credit.
Yep.
Devin Booker stepped up.
The man.
Stepped up. He took it up a whole nother level to a superstar level now.
Yep.
Chris Paul played through injury. He commanded the game very good. Cam Payne, one of the players who I haven't liked ever since he got in the league.
I give him his credit.
All of it. You get all this credit today. Ayton was the best big. Discount AD. Ayton was the best big in the whole series by far. Yeah. Bridges and Crowder knocked down 3 after 3 after 3. And the role players were just better than the Lakers. Yeah. And that's what it came down to once AD got hurt. Because Bron ain't 30 no more.
36.
He ain't even 30. He ain't 35 no more.
Yeah, on the other side of 35. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. We're starting to see chinks in the armor. We're definitely starting to see chinks in the armor. Like, it started with the Bron thing started with the groin last season. The Christmas game against the Warriors, whenever he got hurt. Yeah, 2 years ago. So that's when the chinks in the armor started happening. The ankle injury happened with Bron. Then something else. I feel like something else happened. But just kind of circling back here first with the Lakers in the elimination games. Game 6, I internally and on the timeline, I'm saying Bron needs 45 or 50 to win the game. I think that's the game when me and you were back and forth on the text. Bron needed 45 or 50 in order for them to win that game. From game 6, the doors were blown off the Staples Center like from the go. Devin Booker came out with it on his mind. I'm putting these boys away. We going back to Arizona to chill. We're not going back to Arizona to work. Like we
Right.
going back to Arizona with round 2 on our minds to get ready for whoever is next. The AD injury is unfortunate. Us as Louisianians, we watch Pelican games, so we see Anthony roll around on the ground habitually. Like
Every game, he falling at least 5 times, bro.
something's his finger, his elbow, his wrist, his shoulder, his head, his ankle, his knee, his quad, his back, you name it, his foot, his toe. Quick story. I went to a Pelicans game once before, and AD had like the freakiest injury of ever. Like I still haven't seen Anthony play in real life. As many Pelican games as I've been to, I've never seen Anthony play one game. One of the games that I went to prior, he was scheduled to play. The city, he was like, it was some type of like charity award he was given like to like a fan or something. Like it was like a fan appreciation. Anthony steps on the dude's foot, rolls his ankle before the game, can't even play, and it's like, bro, like like come on,
What?
dog, like true story, like stuff like that happens to Anthony all the time, and Charles Barkley brought up a really good point.
Street clothes,
Davis, like like at this point in your career, you shouldn't be hurt this much because Anthony isn't that much older than us. If he is older than us,
He younger than us.
Yeah, he's younger than us. So Anthony has to do something different with his training. It's either how he's lifting, how often he's lifting, what he's eating, something is going on. Or it could just kind of be, we could kind of just lean this on genetics, maybe, because he did go from
6'2"
average size to extremely
6'10".
tall really
Right.
fast. Like he went to average height to really tall really fast. And I know that has effects on your body. I have a couple, we know people who have had a growth spurt, like maybe not that aggressive, but we know people who have had some growth spurts. But salute to the Suns. They also showed a lot of depth they have on their bench. I didn't understand a lot of Monty Williams' rotations at all of who he was bringing off the bench. He brought Sarge off the bench. He brought Torrey Craig off the bench. He brought Cam Johnson off the bench, Cam Payne off the bench. And then like in the closeout game 6, like he just shortened his bench all of a sudden. And that's when the Lakers started like chipping away at it. That's when the Lakers like cut it to 10. The Suns were pretty much up roughly 22, 30 points throughout the entire closeout game. But they ended up prevailing. Lakers cut it to 10. Suns pushed the lead back up to 17. Devin Booker had it on his mind. Chris Paul looks healthy. And the Lakers. It sucks, like I've never had a groin injury, but obviously that limits your mobility altogether. I understand why Anthony wanted to play, but bro, yeah, that could have went a lot worse. You know what I mean?
Bro, quick story. Let me tell you about a groin injury. I'm playing in PE. What grade? 8th grade, playing in PE. Somebody make a move. I pull my groin. They had to carry me off the court. Jesus. Like people came, they picked me up. I couldn't walk. They picked me up and sat me in the bleachers. I didn't play. I know the next day for sure I didn't play at all. And then I don't think I played the rest of that week. I was like, nah, I'm gonna just sit out till Monday. And this was like probably like a Tuesday or something. Like, cause it had days left. I was like, nah, I'm just gonna wait till Monday and I'll be back playing with y'all or whatever. Bruh, a groin injury ain't no joke. I didn't know what happened, but I know it was a groin because it was right there. Yeah. And I was like, if I can't play at PE, he a professional athlete. Ain't no way he about to be running up and down chasing the best players in the world 2 days after he just couldn't walk side to side. Like, ain't no way. He shouldn't have played at all. They should have just sat him and been like, LeBron, if you can't win it, then we just gonna take you out the game early and just let bygones be bygones, and we'll get you a new team next year.
Yep.
So yeah, bro, a groin injury, that ain't no joke.
Yeah, and that's what, and I salute the Suns as well. Like, blood in the water. Like, Anthony's hurt. They went at him early. They put him in pick and rolls. They put him in switches. Devin
Oh
Booker
yeah.
went to the rim. Chris Paul went to the rim. They tested him out. Like they tested him out early. They did what they had to do. I think Anthony only played either it was like 2 minutes or 4 minutes,
I
but
think like 3 minutes.
yeah,
My
like
dog was out of there.
like they went, they made it a point. We're going at Anthony, and we're about to go ahead and get him up out of here early. So, I mean, I salute it. You know what I'm saying? I salute the effort. The Lakers also showed many flaws in their entire team, like the arrogance, and it is Laker arrogance. Like let's just call a spade a spade. Kuzma hasn't shown anything all year. You rolled the dice on Andre Drummond, the Big Penguin.
Worst nickname in the NBA.
But worst nickname in the NBA. You rolled the dice on Kuzma hasn't shown anything all year. Caruso disappeared in the playoffs.
He got hurt again.
He got hurt again. Drummond is a no-show. KCP was hurt, and I think a couple of those games he might have logged less than 5 points. And Montrezl Harrell didn't get any kind of legit burn at all.
Don't know what's up with that.
So I think to match up evenly with Jay Crowder, you put in Montrezl Harrell and them two cancel each other out. You know what I mean? Montrez may eat on the glass, but Jay Crowder makes the threes. That might equal to a wash because Trez is really good with second chance points in the paint. Trez reminds me of a high school player. Like he just gets rebounds and he goes up and dunks with 2 hands. Like he reminds me of a high school player so much. But that's just a one-off. But the Lakers, they should have made more moves. I think in the at the trade deadline, whether if it was picking up Kyle Lowry, whether if it was making a move for somebody off of the Heat, whether
Somebody
if it
that
was
can shoot.
somebody that can shoot, somebody that can space the floor, spread the floor. I bet they miss Danny Green. Laker fans hated on him all year last year, but I bet they miss him now.
After watching him today, they might not.
Yeah, after today, yeah, but I think anything would have helped because they got the doors blown off of them in Game 5 in Phoenix and in Game 6.
Right, as a Portland fan, I've never seen Wes Matthews look this bad. That boy was missing layups and threes falling out of bounds. He was just taking. I was like, bro, he can't play. I no wonder he's been on like 4 teams in the last 4 years. He's not.
He's not it.
He might not be an NBA player no more. That's just how bad. I'm gonna put it like that's just how bad he was. They got him, McLemore. He's supposed to be a shooter, but he can't get on PT because he don't know the defense. Like he don't know the defensive rotation. Then we forgot Gasol can't move his. Gasol old as I don't know what.
He
and
lost it like that.
Remember that talking about bringing in Powell too?
I do remember that.
Oh,
that would have been
just like a team would have been the slowest team in NBA history. Yeah. Slower than the teams in the 60s and the 50s. Like this would have been so unathletic.
There's no fast break. Like now that you say that, like I don't even much remember many Laker fast breaks at all. Like in this entire series, like it may be like 1 or 2, but nothing that like changes that like shifts the balance. You know what I mean?
Right. They had the couple with KCP and had some, and then LeBron and Kuzma was throwing alleys to each other. I mean, LeBron and Caruso was catching the alleys, but they too slow and they don't shoot. Yeah. Them 2 things you need in the NBA, like 2 main things you need to be a great basketball team, and they didn't have none of that
either. Yeah.
So it's gonna be some wholesale changes. That's all I know.
Yeah, Browns are getting ready to overhaul that entire roster. If your name isn't LeBron James, Anthony Davis, you may be out of there. Yeah, you may be you may be out of there. And so that pretty much wraps up Lakers and Suns and Lakers, Suns over the Lakers, and Nuggets and Blazers. I'll let you go ahead and take this one from here. Great series. My favorite series.
I'm gonna be let's start with the good first. You always want to be positive starting off things.
Start with love. Positive.
Start with love. Jokic is by far a top 5 NBA player in the world. He's amazing. He's not just great, he's amazing. He's outstanding. I tried to come up with a comparison, and I came up with a Rasheed Wallace, Chris Webber mix. But my homeboy was like, nah, he was like, nah, he pretty much controlled the game like Tim Duncan. And I was like, you know what? That's more fitting. Yeah. He's a Tim Duncan with a 3-point shot. Yeah. But he don't block shots. That's it. Yeah. He does anything else.
everything else. He literally does everything else.
And he's a way better passer, a way better shooter.
Yep.
And he is a nightmare to guard. So I'm gonna give him his credit. Michael Porter Jr. stepped up in big moments as a young player. Remember, he said last year he didn't get enough touches. He got the touches this year, and he went to work, especially in that game, that closeout game. What else about Denver? I like Monte Morris, the way he came off the bench and controlled the game. You know, he did a very good job as a backup point guard. And I don't think a lot of their players didn't do too much. Because Michael Porter Jr., he shoots some bad shots, but he's really the only one that they let who takes high risk or bad shots. Everybody else kind of plays their role. Like Aaron Gordon. Aaron Gordon played within himself. Paul Millsap played within himself or whatever. Capazzo does what he's supposed to do. Yeah. They don't make many mistakes as a basketball team.
I like him a lot.
They don't make many mistakes. So I'm getting to them. They're a very great team that plays together. And congrats to them. But now let's talk about the real issue is that Terry Stotts can't coach for nothing.
Got him out of there.
I don't understand another coaching rant. The other team got one real superstar. Yeah. And he's a center. You have a center who can score the basketball. You got two, matter of fact, who can score the basketball. What you do?
Fouls out.
Yeah, our center fouls out. But what's supposed to happen is you give our center the ball so he can foul out their center. I don't get that logic. If I know the only way we can win is by him, that's the only way we could have won. Jokic not on the court at all. Yeah. I'm trying to foul him out. We foul him out, we win the series.
Yep.
You gotta foul him out. I don't understand. I'm like, put him in some post ups. Just give him Nurkic would just set screens all day and letting guards shoot threes. I'm like, bro, this ain't it. This is how we play, but that ain't how you win. I'm trying to
Adjustments.
Right. It's all about adjustments. Like, yeah, that's you want to play. But I'm like, if you're trying to really beat them, Jokic got to be on the bench. So you got to fire him out. That was terrible. He left the man. He left him one-on-one. And I'm like, okay. He left him one-on-one. That didn't work. He doubled. That didn't work. I really don't think it was nothing we could really have done. I was like, look, we're gonna leave Nurkic one-on-one. If he kill him, he kill him, but we can't let him get some passes off him too. If he scores 60, he scores 60. We can't be letting Porter Jr. get his 25 too, and Aaron Gordon get his 18 and stuff like that. We can't. You got to nullify that.
And Morris getting 20 plus, 18 plus.
Right. And like with Cantor, okay, and when Nurkic does foul out, or when they get foul trouble, you can't throw Carmelo Anthony or Robert Covington on Nurkic. I mean, on
MVP. No.
Right, because then what happened? Now you got to send help. I'm like, throw Harry Giles in there. Somebody asked Zach Collins, is he okay? Can he suit up? At least be in uniform. Zach Collins, I got something.
I'm on your ass.
I'm on him. I'm gonna get him out of there because he went too high in the draft and not playing 2 years.
I'm on you, boy.
And his contract should be up. I don't want him back. He can go. He can't play. He too hurt to even practice.
No, it's the truth. It's the truth. So
yeah, that's hard. We got bad coaching, and then now where do we go? Well, we got rid of the coach now, so now we're looking for a new one. Dame wants Jason Kidd, but he said he ain't taking that job because I think he got something in the works with maybe the Lakers? ? So we're gonna look out for that. But Portland, some got to shake.
Yeah.
If they don't get the right coach, Dame said he ain't coming back. So this is either about to be a rebuild or I don't know what it's about to be. But if they don't get the right coach, they start all the way over. And Dame is gonna be tagged. He gonna be sent somewhere, and Portland is gonna be out a look for the next 15. I'll give it 10 years.
Yeah, I was about to say 8. I was about to say 8 years, but no, you're absolutely right. in regards to the Nuggets, they're the better team. They did win, but salute the Blazers because
Did they really have a better team?
They have the better team. They have the better team. I think just strictly off of like Joker does so much on the floor. He does so much that neutralizes three of your positions. Small forward through center, he neutralizes three of those, for sure. So he neutral, and then Rocco, trash. Like, and then I'm sitting there looking at Enes Kanter. Kanter is just another body, yes, but I'm looking at how Kanter was playing him when Kanter was in the game when Nurkic was in foul trouble. Enes Kanter is giving him a Joker baseline all game. Like, that's where Joker wants to go. Like, Joker wants to go baseline, and he's making those. He's tall enough to see over and make wraparound passes that guards should be able to make, but he's 7 feet making those type of looks, getting those type of looks off. Plus, his high arcing jumper is something crazy. But
you can't block the fact.
It's like it's Dirk-esque. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's one of those where you just can't. You know what I'm saying? You just can't get to it.
That's why I came up with the Rasheed thing. I'm like, he shooting so high, like you can't. His hands was in his face, but he just shooting so high. It don't affect. Nothing affects him.
Yeah.
He's just like Tim Duncan. His emotions don't change.
He's mastered it. He's really just mastered his. He's mastered his jump shot and his passing. It's unbelievable. He don't dunk, but he don't dunk or block shots. Yeah, he don't really dunk or block shots on the regular, but he definitely did what he had to do. And Dame's game 5 was incredible. We can't, just let this moment pass without giving Dame his flowers for that. Me and the homies, we were here at the crib, we were watching the game, and at a certain point, you have to foul. Like if you're the Nuggets, you would think foul. Like, and that goes back to my question that I asked earlier in the season. Like, under 10 seconds, 8 seconds to go, who you giving the ball to? You know what I'm saying? Like, if you have the option out of anybody in the league, from KD, Dame, James, LeBron to make the right decision, Steph, Clay, whoever, Kawhi, whoever you want. You know what I'm saying? Jason Tatum, whoever you want. Like, Dame showed time and time again, and you literally saw after Dame had he had Austin Rivers on him, and he was going to the paint, and he was at the top of the key, and
you talking about the one where he just jumped back, like,
and he spin, jump back, and then just drained it. I said, oh my God, this dude is an alien. Like, he's a complete alien. He even had one where he banked one in over Austin Rivers, but it looked like it was just in pure rhythm.
Right.
Then like a couple possessions down the line, CJ stepped out of bounds over there in the left corner. Then who was
Covington left the shooter wide open. Covington went for a steal with 3 seconds left on the shot clock, was left a shooter in the corner wide open for a 3.
Terrible decision.
And then when we were down 3, Covington gets Dame passes to Covington in the lane. Covington misses a dunk because he tries to cock it back. I'm like, bro,
what are you doing?
He ain't been working for Pecan since he left Minnesota.
Yeah. Houston. You know what I'm saying? Like, even whenever he got you ain't lying, because he went to Houston after Minnesota. But I mean, I think it's rotational player, but not a key player.
Not a starter.
Bench. Not a key player off of anybody's bench. But I did see some reports earlier today that they're already kind of working on some roster moves. I saw the Cavs, they're interested in CJ, and the Heat are going to make a run at both Dame and CJ. If they don't get one, they're going to try and land the other. So, that's, I'll kind of leave that one up to you, of who you would want off of the Heat's roster for in either direction. So I'll leave that one up to you. But that is some of the things that I said I saw, and even last night I saw. This was if the Clippers got eliminated, they were looking into a CJ and Paul George swap out. But exactly. But once again, that's your team, so I'll let you express your interest of who you do have interest in to possibly replace either party. So that's pretty much all I have with the Blazers. But I mean, Blazers, good luck to them. I have a soft spot in my heart for the Blazers because I am a Brandon Roy fan. Brandon Roy is one of my favorites forever. So, but yeah, I'll let you cook, and I'll go ahead and let you ice up.
Dame has to stay. Carmelo can stay for a year. Simons, if they work with him, he can stay. I want CJ to stay, but he would be the best trade asset as far as you can get somebody for him. Maybe you can you trade him for Bradley Beal? Can you trade him for Jaylen Brown? Can you trade him for who's somebody else?
You need a four. Kevin Love would be a great piece over there.
Right, but I don't even know if he cared about basketball no more how bad Cleveland was. He like, look, I might just need to go home. I might get in the Hall of Fame. If he leave now, he might sneak into the Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
So he might as well leave. Right. All the bids can go. Yeah. Anybody over 6'7" can go. I don't know. If I would say if they listened to me and just drafted the right Collins, we wouldn't have none of this problem. If they'd have drafted the John Collins that plays
Black
for
Collins,
Atlanta,
the Black Collins,
instead of the white Collins who came off the bench at Gonzaga.
Yep.
Then they wouldn't have no power forward problem, but we do. So now they got to fix the power forward problem. I think you see Nurkic and Kanter ain't gonna ever be able to stop Jokic, so you got to get them off the team. Because you need somebody to stop Jokic. Unless the new coach is going to change stuff up and be smart enough to know, okay, if we play the Nuggets in the playoffs, foul out Jokic.
That was, I did see a trade package today too, and that was kind of interesting. I saw our Nurkic for Miles Turner swap out. So I did see that today too. I forgot to mention that one. So that could be a maybe a good balance, a good swap out, or just an upgrade. So, but that of course has to do with other pieces that are involved in that as well. So,
you know what? Okay, we about to talk about the Mavericks. I wouldn't mind if somehow we could get Porzingis because he don't play power. He don't play in the paint anyway. I think we could use him, and he could be our stretch for. I'll take him over whatever we got because the Mavs got Luka. Yep. They gonna have championship expectations soon because how good he is. Yep. And Porzingis he can't be a second best player. After what I saw this series, he not built like that. He needs to be. He's an other. He's just at this moment, he's a real tall other because he ain't got it. I don't know what happened to him, but he ain't got that that I thought he had. So
he's lost it. He's lost it in between like the back injury, in between his knee injury, his feet. The best thing that the Mavs got out of that was Tim Hardaway Jr. That is the best thing that they got out of that swap out with the Knicks. But I mean, both teams kind of won. I think the Knicks won faster than expected in that swap out, but Porzingis with Portland would look pretty good. I can definitely see that. And it looks like he would be able to actually run the floor, unlike Nurkic. So
it's just a thought.
Mm-hmm. And then so Nuggets move on. They take out the Blazers. Salute to Dame. You know how we rock with you, Dame. So yeah, that's it for that one. And then last but not least, Clippers and the Mavericks wrapped up the only game 7 of the first round in either conference today. Clippers ended up outlasting the Mavericks, and what can I say, man? Kawhi Leonard is the man. He is the man. He is the man. Kawhi is the man. Just gonna pull up some numbers here for Kawhi. This series against the Mavericks, he has averaged 40 minutes a game. Scratch that. 41 minutes a game. His points per game, 32 points a game. Field goal percentage, 61% from the field. From 3-point, he's shooting 43%. Free throws, he's shooting 90%. 8 rebounds a game, 5 assists a game, 2 steals a game, 1 block a game. all time. All time. That sounds like Wilt Chamberlain if I've ever heard it. That's close to like Wilt Chamberlain and Shaq numbers. You know what I'm saying? Like maybe even better than some of Shaq's numbers, but discounting Shaq's free throws. But yeah, so that's 7 games against the Mavericks, and the Clippers definitely moved on. They took out the Mavs today. Look, bottom line with this one, and the first thing that jumps out, neither team won a home game until this game 7 that the Clippers had on their floor.
Right.
I think the overall goal here, or the overall biggest thing, Luka needs help. Luka needs some serious help because, as you just stated, the Mavs, they'll have championship aspirations in the coming years. In the next 5 years, those championship aspirations are only going to grow.
You think 5?
With us within 5 years.
Oh, okay.
They have those championship aspirations. So, yeah. Go ahead, then take it away from here.
I was about to say, you say 5, you get up one player. He might get one in 3 years. Like if he get just somebody to roll with him that's really gonna ride with him.
Yeah.
Cause he almost did it again. Beat them by himself. Because Porzingis ain't it. They start. Come on, bro. Maxi Kleber getting big PT. Dorian Finney-Smith, he's a good guy off the bench to have. Tim Hardaway is probably not really a starting shooting guard in the NBA, but he stepped up. He stepped up, and they making it work.
If Porzingis ain't got it, I got it.
Right. If Porzingis don't want it, I'll take it. Shoot, and give me his bread too. Let me get all of it.
Pay that man.
Jalen Brunson, good point guard coming off the bench, but it's pretty much just because Luka just so good, and it ain't the fact. It's just I was watching today, and people saying he can't. A lot of people you hear that he can't shoot or whatever. I'm like, but he makes them when you're supposed to make them. Like he was right when the game started off. Like he wasn't missing. Like this is game 7, and I'm just for some reason I'm just on, and that just like shows you, it just levels to it. And right now he top 5.
Yeah, absolutely.
If there's a new top 5, I think if we redo the top 5, I think he's in it. Jokic is in it. Durant is in it.
Tatum.
I don't think Tatum's in it.
James Harden.
Maybe.
Yeah, he might be on the backside of that one. So I mean that
okay.
top 5
honestly, from what I imagine going forward is between Harden. The last 2 spots I would say between Harden, Embiid, and maybe Stephen. Maybe Steph.
Yeah.
Because he cooked this year.
Yeah, like, he put the team on his back.
Right, and I think he's just gonna be just as good next year.
Yeah, and he's got more time to rest. You know what I'm saying?
Right. And notice I didn't mention LeBron.
Yeah, it's the backside of 36. It is what it is.
What if he ain't close to healthy? Like, because his game, he don't have enough offensive game to keep up. Yeah. Like he can shoot threes, but that's really all he can do if he can't run by you no more and dunk on you.
Bron doesn't even want to play the block anymore. Like he don't want to go to the block, do his fadeaways like he was doing in Miami. Like that's where he should be at this point in his career. He could eat all day down there on the block if you really want.
He doesn't have the footwork, and he doesn't have the offensive repertoire. He either just gonna power through you or just try to go around you. He don't have or do that fadeaway.
Yep.
Other than that, his game is real predictable. Honestly, once you take away the athleticism, it's real predictable. So so he not in my top 5, but Luka is definitely top 5. Well, Kawhi fighting for that spot too, as we saw today.
Kawhi's in that mix,
So yeah, Kawhi up there, but Giannis too. Like it's got a lot. League is in good hands. But shout out to my boy. I got a new nickname for Luka Hardaway.
Why is that?
He's the new Penny Hardaway.
Yeah.
Without the athleticism, I was looking and they were trying to compare him. They're like, oh, he's the new Larry Bird, and then I heard somebody like, oh no, he's Magic mixed with Bird, and I was like, and I was watching. I'm like, it's different. I'm like, I'm like, how he plays is different. So then I was like, who is some? And I just started going through my head. And I was like, hold on, let me pull up some Penny because I was like, I feel like he kind of mimicked him. And when I watched Penny, I was like, oh, they the same person. How they control the tempo, they dribble moves kind of are similar. The spots they get, how they get to their spots when they get to them is similar. It's just that Lucas scores more because he doesn't have Shaq.
Yeah,
If
exactly.
Penny didn't have Shaq, he would have been scoring a whole lot more. But how they play is exactly the same without all the jump, without the dunking. So Luka is he he gonna be the best player. Him and Jokic gonna be the two best players in the league very soon.
Going forward. Yeah, they definitely have cemented their space in the game, like where the league is going to go for the next 10, 12 years. You know what I mean? Well, really just 8 years and beyond. You know what I'm saying?
My
Go ahead.
bad.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah. Well, finish your point because I'm gonna just wrap up the Clippers part of that. So you can finish.
So and then especially with the Mavs as well, like they just need, the bottom line is Luka needs more pieces around him. He, like you said, he almost put him away again this year like he did last year, and last year he did it on a bum ankle last year.
And this year, he was hurting.
The shoulder and the neck. So
yeah.
I mean, salute to the Mavs. Salute to Luka. You know what I'm saying? He did what he had to do. I was surprised to see Boban play as much as he did, like in this series, and he showed he has an offensive package. like he showed that he actually has game. So, I mean, I always looked at Boban as just one of those fun guys like Taco Fall and you know what I'm saying, guys like that, like just like those figures like Mobamba, like they're just those figures, but I was salute to Boban. He had a pretty good series. Boban kind of did more than Porzingis as well throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
So the Mavs have some bright spots. Tim Hardaway, Boban, Finley Smith. I think the Mavs, their biggest regret is letting Seth Curry walk this past offseason, letting him go to Philly. So they definitely could have used him this year as well. But you live and you learn. But if I know Mark Cuban, he's gonna make some type of play to get his boy some help.
Finally, because he got a you can see that he got one. So people, and he's young, he's 22. People need to they need to run that as fast as they can. Whoever.
Yeah. I mean, and then we know Dallas, Texas. You know what I'm saying? It's not gonna be hard to get people to come play in Dallas, Texas. It's not gonna be hard.
Right. Even though they really never get free agents though, but I'm like Dallas is a nice city.
Yeah, it's not bad. I used to hate on Dallas a lot, but Dallas has some quality places now. So it's good place overall. But especially with Luka being there, I think guys will end up signing contracts there, and then make it be easier across the board. So
no state taxes.
No state tax. You're gonna see that change. So why not? So yeah, that pretty much wraps up round 1 of the first round of the NBA playoffs. And you got anything else for the back end of the first round?
Hey, we didn't Clippers. They showed Clippers showed that they are mentally tough. They showed that they were able to adjust and make the adjustment they needed, and it was also a good thing. Ty Lue switched it up on them. He went real small to go get. Yeah, he went real small, put in between to go against to counter whatever the Mavs were doing early. But the Mavs, they went big with Boban. Now, if Porzingis would have played big, they would have won the series.
Absolutely.
So that's another topic for another day. But it's good the Clippers won, because if they didn't win, I don't know what was going to happen with their organization. They was about to go back. I think Kawhi wasn't coming back. Paul George was going to have to be the star unless they were going to trade him away again. But it's good that they finally broke through. They got that mug out their back, and now we'll just see what they do in the next round.
And to your point about the Clippers possibly blowing it up if they would have blew this series, I think that's still up in the air. You know what I mean? Because this is a championship aspiration team. Championship coach in Ty Lue, championship player in Kawhi Leonard. That is your leader. just a whole bunch of other guys that do a lot of good things really well. You know what I'm saying? Paul George is supposed to be one of those dudes. We're gonna see how the rest of the playoffs continue to shake out for him. And another thing to note, John Wall was at game one of this matchup, and he was there with Paul George's parents. So take that. He was sitting with his people. So take that however you want to take that, and that may be some tea leaves or wherever and however. But Paul George and John Wall in Houston, Texas, I don't think that would be a good idea at all because it's a bit too much that goes on out here.
You think John is staying in Houston?
I think John is the piece for Houston to guide these younger guys. And I think they would put PG. I think they would bring PG here, but like on a 1-year deal, kind of like Westbrook. Like it would have to be on the back end of his contract, or like a player or a team option, however that would go. I think it would only be kind of like a one and done kind of situation because I think the Rockets going forward, their star is Kevin Porter Jr. I think he is the franchise going forward as long as he stays out of trouble, like off the court. But I like that Kevin Porter, he'll put them hands on somebody. Like,
hey man, you gotta ride.
You gotta ride for your team.
Right.
Yeah. I like that he'll put them hands on boys if you have to behind his homies. Like I like
we came in clean. We gotta leave out clean.
Yeah, we came in together. We're gonna leave together. I promise that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So that's pretty much just my wrap up there for the first round for both conferences there. So that's it with that one. And round two. The Nets and the Bucks go. Game one was Saturday, Saturday the 5th, and once again an injury. 45 seconds into the game, James Harden pulls his hamstring. They had the same hamstring that has given him continued trouble throughout this entire season. Luckily, it wasn't anything severe where he, tore anything or overdid anything like that. He pulled it. The report came out today that he does have hamstring tightness. He's going to be out for game 2, which will take place tomorrow night, Monday night in Brooklyn. But going back to the guys that actually played on the floor yesterday, being Saturday, Brooklyn ended up taking that victory. Once again, it was good to hear that kind of crowd there in Brooklyn. I think that crowd gave them a big lift throughout this entire thing. Brooklyn, I'm taking Brooklyn in this one. My Milwaukee hate continues for good reason. But my Milwaukee hate continues, so I'm taking Brooklyn on this one. I think they just have too much across the board. I don't think the Bucks have enough firepower across the board. I think if the Bucks have a legit chance, Giannis has to have 38 or more, and he has to stay out of foul trouble by guarding Kevin Durant. So, and then Kyrie Irving is a magician, just a wizard with the basketball, and I don't think there's anybody that can guard him on the Bucks either. So I'm rolling with them. And so going into this series, I was a bit concerned because minus James Harden, the Bucks smacked the Nets around in like the last month of the season. I forgot if it was that may have been a back-to-back game, maybe like a Saturday night and Sunday, or a Sunday, Monday. But the Bucks smacked the Nets around without James Harden, and you might as well say James Harden didn't even play in this game at all. So I was expecting kind of like the same thing, but playoff intensity, playoff atmosphere. The Nets showed their championship DNA, and they took game 1. So what you got on this
one? Yeah, my prediction was with a healthy Harden, I had the Nets in 5.
Yeah.
Like I had them just steamrolling through it. Not steamrolling, but beating.
Commensurate.
Yeah, beating Milwaukee because they just had too much firepower. Like them 3 just scored too much. Like it's too much offense for you to combat, especially with the loss of DiVincenzo. Yes. He not out there. So you lost a shooter and a defender. Yeah. So that's a big blow because like now you see that they have to rely more playing Pat Connaughton and Forbes. Like they were in the rotation, but they weren't in the rotation to play how many minutes that they're getting. because that's 30 minutes. DiVincenzo, that's 30 minutes from your starting shooting guard. So now you got to replace that with players who was used to playing 12 minutes. Now they got to go up to like 18 to 20 ish playing the players, and they're not that comfortable playing. And that's the reason why they was getting 12 and 13 instead of 20, 22 minutes.
Absolutely.
So that was it. But now since if Harden can't play, I put down Nets in 7 because I kind of got I don't know if it's good or bad. I got like blind faith, some faith in like Giannis and Holiday that they'll kind of figure it out.
Yeah, I forgot about you.
And that the coach is gonna make some adjustments because you see Brook Lopez didn't start. He started PJ Tucker to combat Kevin Durant because they play because Kevin Durant is he's 7 foot, but he's really a shooting guard. With how hard he really a shooting guard. So they got to find somebody to guard him. So they use Tucker to guard him. Blake is their center on paper. So you got to have somebody who can run with him. So PJ is a better fit. So we're gonna have to see how that the matchup, balance out. And then also plus with the bench stuff is very important too, because I don't think the Nets bench really ain't that good because the bench don't score.
Yeah,
that's the one thing they bench don't do. They don't score no point. So if Durant and Kyrie, they play in heavy minutes. They played a lot of minutes in that first series too. That's gonna be something to see. Does that wear them down? Because they are asked to do a lot on offense and plus play defense too. And then they out there doing it 40 minutes a game. After both of them are injury prone, so that's tough. So I think that's one thing about Milwaukee that I like. They're deeper, but their depth isn't like they don't punch you in the face. Like they'll make their little shots or whatever, but it ain't nothing that'll elevate the team with what they bench do. Anybody out there bench. Teague ain't got that type of stuff no more. Lopez, I don't know. Some days he look good, some days he look terrible. Connaughton, same way. His shot be off, he turn it over a lot.
Yeah.
And I'm just going with the team with the better superstars, and
Absolutely.
that's Brooklyn.
And I was extremely disrespectful by discounting Drew Holiday. I completely forgot. I don't know how Drew Holiday slipped my mind like that, saying nope, the Bucks don't have anybody that can guard Kyrie. Drew Holiday can check Kyrie, but James Harden comes back. That's a long night. That's a long night at the office. You know what I'm saying?
Because there was a lot of cross matching too. Because that's what they're gonna have to figure out. Like, who really gonna guard who? Like, okay, if PJ go take Durant, who's Giannis gonna guard? Do we need to let Giannis guard the center? Well, guard Blake pretty much, and just let him be like a helper. But on ball, we need Drew to guard. Who we want him to guard? Do we want him to guard Kyrie or do we want him to guard Harden?
Right. Yeah.
And then I don't know who else is starting for that. It's Middleton. Who's starting at the other wing?
At the other wing.
Can't be Condescending or Forbes. If it is, that's not gonna cut it. But it gotta be one of them.
Yeah, that was it. It was Connaughton and that's the team stats. But yeah, it was Drew Holiday, Forbes, Connaughton, Jeff T got burned. He had 14 minutes on the floor. That was it. That's it. Those are the only guys that played. Giannis, Tucker, Lopez, Holiday, Middleton, Forbes, Connaughton, Portis, T, and Thanasis, Giannis' brother.
Yeah. So either Connaughton or Forbes got to start, and they none of them. One of them got to be on. I guess Joe Harris. They got to be on Joe Harris, but Middleton is guarding Harden.
Yeah.
But they had him guarding, I think, Blake because Giannis at point. Because at one point Giannis was guarding Kyrie, so it's just they matchups all over. But they got to figure that stuff out, or they gonna get Oh, they might get mess around and get swept.
Yeah, that's an adjustment. Like we say, you know what I'm saying? Kind of like the same thing with Terry Stotts. Like you're going to have to figure it out because the James Harden injury was kind of like a blessing in disguise, like for the Nets, in order to see Coach Bud has those flaws. Like you should have been able to pick that out early. Chris Middleton should have been hitting elbow jumpers, post ups, all kind of stuff. He should have been cooking all night long. You know what I mean? But Coach Bud not putting people into position, which just adds to my Bucks hate, my Bucks displeasure. So that's all that I have with that one. But I mean, we'll see. Game number 2 for the Nets and the Bucks. It is actually tomorrow night, June 7th, Monday night, and in Brooklyn. And James Harden, he's going to sit that one out too. And we'll see how his status turns out for the rest of the series moving forward. My favorite game of the day, though, Hawks and Sixers. I'll let you go ahead and take this one from here. Break it down.
They better find somebody to guard Trae Young. Because it's gonna be a long night because he's making that 3, and it's too easy right now. So they got a big dilemma on guarding Trae because they started with Danny. Danny got cooked. Danny can't do it. Yeah. I saw all I needed to see in the first like 5-6 minutes when Trae had 14 in like 5 minutes. I was like, yeah, Danny can't do it. So it's gonna have to either be Ben or you're gonna have to make a lineup change and Danny gotta come off the bench. And you gotta start Thibault. Now that hurts your shooting, but it helps your defense. So in my mind, I'm like, well, Ben just gonna have to guard. Since Ben don't play offense anyway, he can waste all his energy on defense since Mr. Defensive Player of the Year. Since that's what he said. He can guard Trae. And like I don't know what it is, but it's the space in the house get. Because everybody can shoot threes except Capella.
Everywhere. They shoot everywhere.
Besides Capella and the other backup center, the one that played the one that played with Lonzo and them in high school. Yeah. Everybody else can shoot threes. So that the flow be so spaced, so it'd be hard with the rotations on them pick and rolls when Trae at the top of the key and you get a screen, that'd be, everything open. So they gotta figure that out because and also Atlanta was just super high from the 3-point line today. I think they made like 23. I know they made over whatever. Yeah. I know they made like 50% of threes.
Yeah, they were
20
for 47. 43%.
Come on now. You made 23. And Philly only made, I think, maybe 9.
10 to 29.
They made half of that. So that's what 60 to 30. 60 to 30. They got to score 30 points to the 3-point line. So yeah, they got to find a way to stop Trae Young because if he keep getting to that lane making passes, it's gonna be bad. I honestly had the 76ers sweep in the Hawks, but I didn't see this point guard this inability. Yeah, I didn't see this inability to guard the point guard go this way. So yeah, I think Ben gonna have to take them. They gotta play, maybe try Milton more, maybe Maxey. Like Danny Green feet too slow. Danny Green feet is too slow at this age, at this stage of his career to be trying to guard somebody that young and that fast.
Yeah,
point back here.
Yeah, I'm sitting here looking at these numbers here from this game, and I'm just looking at the differences. The free throws jumps out. The final score was 128-124.
Philly missed 10 free throws.
Philly went 24 for 35 from the free throw line, and the Hawks only missed 1 free throw. They were 20 of 21.
Guess who missed at least 5? Guess who missed 5 of them?
Hello, your point guard,
Mr. Simmons.
Yeah, Mr. Simmons. So that's definitely a shift in the game right there. That's the game. That's pretty much the game that could have made up for the other 10 threes. You know what I'm saying? So that makes, like I say, that's just
right. And despite all that, they only lost by 7?
4. 128, 124.
They lost by 4, and they was down 27 or 28 in the first quarter.
Pretty much the entire game.
Right. So despite all that, y'all still had a chance to win. So you can see that they still got that they still are. I guess they're still a better team.
Yeah.
It's just that they turned it over so much too.
It definitely did. And yeah, the turnovers there. The Hawks, they had 15 turnovers. The Sixers had 19. The bulk of those Hawks turnovers came within the last 2 minutes of the game.
Right. I'm about to say it was like
saw,
8 in the last 3 minutes.
Yeah, if you saw the back end of the game, which pretty much was the game, that's pretty much where the bulk of those turnovers came from. I'm even looking at the rebound difference. The Hawks were right there with them. 35 rebounds by the Hawks overall, 41 rebounds by the Sixers overall. If you feel it, you have to do a better job on the glass because you're the bigger team. You just have to do a better job with that overall. So, but Ice Trae, being Ice Trae, he's continuing his villain tour across the Eastern Seaboard. Going into the Garden, doing what he did. We spoke about that on his first round. The second round, he cooked Danny Green, as Adrian Broner would say. He got cooked. Ice Trae had 35 points, 10 assists in 39 minutes. John Collins, the correct Collins, 21 points, 4 rebounds. Clint Capella had a double-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds. And then Bogdanovich, 21 points. Big buckets down the stretch by him. Buckets down the stretch by him. Him and Herder, they made like some really good plays down the stretch as well. So and this kind of goes back to what we stated about Joel's I was about to say foot injury, his knee injury. He hung out on like the wing the first half of the game. The second half, he really did go to the block. Joe finished with 39 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists. And the bulk of that was at the back end of the game, but that's what happens whenever you go to the block. You know what I mean? You go to the block, good things happen. You get to the free throw line, everything between. Plus, you're the biggest person on the floor. Make it happen. Make something happen.
Is it how many minutes he played?
He played 38 minutes.
That's too many. How many? Dwight probably played like 7.
Dwight had 8 minutes, no points, 4 rebounds. You got to do a better job if you're Dwight Howard. You have to be better. You
can't just be out there just fouling and then like getting lost on defense because like that's the reason why Embiid couldn't come out the game because like when they put Dwight in, it's nothing. Like you get nothing from him offensive. Like I don't get no dunks, no post ups, no tipping, nothing. Like so Embiid has to be out there to do some scoring.
They didn't get a lot. They didn't get a lot from their bench at all. Like you say, Maxey, 14 points, 14 minutes, 6 points. George Hill, 10 minutes, 1 rebound, 0 assists, 0 points. Dwight Howard, 8 minutes, 4 rebounds, 0 and 0. Shake Milton, 1 minute, 0 and 0. And Tobias Harris, he had 20 points, 10 rebounds, but your Tobias Harris, I think he is an all-star, or he plays at an all-star level or somewhere in between. You need more than 20 points. You need more than 20 points, especially whenever Ben Simmons gives you. Ben Simmons played 37 minutes, 17 points, 10 assists, 4 rebounds. Ben Simmons, you need more rebounds if you're 6'10".
If the 76ers
or go guard Trae Young, one of the two. You can't.
Right. But for Philly, if 76ers, if they want to win, which I think they should win naturally, but if they really want to win, Ben got to be the second best player in the series. He can't be down there. Trae can't outplay him because Ben's got to start taking the ball to the goal. Whoever guard him, just run to the goal. That's your superpower. You 6'10" and you super fast and you can jump, run, jump, dunk. That should be your whole motto this series. If he do that, I think they'll be fine because I think the Hawks. I mean, I like Trae and I like Bogdanovich and Collins, but everybody else, I'm kind of like, I don't know if they feel like that. Yeah, I don't trust them just yet.
Yeah. Well, as far as predictions go, I'm rolling with the Hawks. I'll take the Hawks on this one. I'm rolling with Hawks in 6. I'm rolling with the Hawks in 6.
Wow.
I'm gonna go ahead and just roll the dice on that one, and I'm taking Hawks in 6. Today was telling. Ben Simmons didn't really pick up the challenge of Trae Young until the second half. And I think Doc had to tell him, go get him, instead of Ben Simmons like accepting that internally, you know what I'm saying, and just doing it off of self-motivation. So I'm rolling with Hawks in 6. Especially with depending on how Joel Embiid plays. And I think as this series, the longer this series goes, the more it favors the Hawks. Like that's just the way I look at it as well. Because 7 feet 240 on a
280.
bum, yeah, 280. There we are. There's 7 feet 280 on a bum knee, and the Hawks team who gets up and down the floor. And I mean that could also hurt Philly as well. If Ben Simmons gets the ball, he pushes pace. That kind of takes Joe out of everything. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So the longer the series goes, I'm leaning towards the Hawks. So I got Hawks in 6. So anything else to wrap up that one? The Eastern Conference?
I got Philly in 5.
Philly in 5. Philly in 5. Jump it down. We got Tevin. Philly in 5. I got Hawks in 6. I forgot to make my Nets pick. I got Nets in 5 as well. I think that's what you stated. So I was rolling with.
I said Nets. I was like, if Harden play, they 5. If he don't, they gonna win in 7. But I'm thinking more 6.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say 7.
Yeah. Well, I'll roll Nets in 6. So Nets in 6, Hawks regardless, but Hawks in 6 there. And moving on to the West, Jazz Clippers. We can go ahead and get that one out the way. Jazz Clippers. What'd you think there?
My prediction is Jazz in 6.
Okay.
No matter who won the Mavs Clips, I have the Jazz winning. I just think they're a better team. Yeah. They got something the Clippers can't beat, and I think they got a rim protector, a real rim protector. And the Clippers, they all jump shots. They all try to shoot jumpers anyway, and the rim protector just gonna make them do more of what they really not that good at, and that's shoot contested jump shots. Because they ain't playing against no zone in this series. You better play man.
They're not playing no kind of zone.
Right, you playing man. So, and they got the people that can guard, not guard, but they got bodies that they can throw at the Paul Georges and the Kawhis with Ingles and sometimes Bogdanovich and Royce O'Neal.
The other Bogdanovich.
Yeah, right. And they not related, which they related something.
That's crazy, right?
Somebody daddy be lying.
Yeah, somebody be, hey, you mom want to check them papers.
Yeah, Donovan can guard Paul George. That's light work. And I think they're just gonna make it hard for him, and I think that the Jazz they the best 3-point shooting team. They are a great free throw shooting team. Yep. They're a great defensive team. They don't turn the ball over. Like, they do everything a winning team's supposed to do.
And they run an offense.
Right. And Big Zoo, you gonna put Big Zoo in against Gobert, he about to block that shot every time. Are they gonna play small? I mean, if they play small, I mean, Gobert is not. He's smart enough to know that, okay, I'll just guard Marcus Morris sometimes and I guard Batum sometimes. I don't have to run out to when they shoot threes, because if Batum and Marcus Morris is making threes and y'all lose, hey, you just gotta live with that. But I'm not letting Kawhi and Paul George get to that lane, and I'm not giving them no easy stuff. So, and I think the Jazz, I also take them because Donovan can take over a game. And you need that one player who, when everything breaks down, can you please give me a bucket? and he can get you one. And Conley can get you one too, because we see he's just been playing unbelievable in the playoffs. So I'm going with the Jazz. And then the Clippers, they lose this, like you said, might be some questions that they need to answer.
Yeah, especially as they get ready to move over into that new stadium over there in Inglewood. So
waste of money.
Yeah. Piggyback.
Just move to Vegas.
Moved it. And I was gonna save that for the back end. That's something I forgot to mention as well. But Clippers, they should go ahead and move to Vegas or move to Seattle. But I think A-Rod is thinking about moving the Wolves from Minnesota over to Seattle.
Right. That's crazy, because right there I say I got Clippers future ? Move to Seattle or Vegas.
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, I think it's just time for the Clippers just go ahead and get up out of LA. You know, have your own identity. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, But going back to the series matchup, I think the key player in this series overall is Mike Conley. I think because Mike Conley versus Pat Bev, Mike Conley versus
Lunch
Reggie
meat,
Jackson,
lunch meat,
Mike Conley versus whoever else, Terrence Mann.
lunch meat.
Like it's like so. I think Mike Conley is the key. If Mike Conley comes out aggressive, does what he has to do, I think it's Jazz and 5. Like I really think I think it's that fast of a. I think it's that quick. We all know Kawhi is going to do what Kawhi does. He's going to get off. He's. Go ahead.
Did you just pick the Jazz?
I got the Jazz. These three teams, the Bucks, Clippers, Jazz. I hate those three teams like the absolute most. like out of everything. So yeah.
You're a good man because no matter how much I think you are, if I hate you, I'm gonna pick against you.
I think I'm just rolling with the Jazz on this one. I hate to say I don't care, but you know, like I'm here. I'm locked in with it. You know what I mean? So I'm rolling with the Jazz. I'm rolling with the Jazz in this one. I think this is where Rudy Gobert, if you want to make any type of real stamp for yourself, this is where you do it. You do it against this type of Clipper team. You know what I mean? So that's just what I'm rolling with. Plus, like you say, I think the Jazz have way too much coming off of that bench. Like Ingles, the
Clark.
6 man a year. Well, Ingles or Clarkson, both they finished top 2 in 6 man in the year. You have you might as well just say the 2 best 6 men in the league. You might as well say are coming off the 6th and the 7th man coming off your bench. They can match up with other pieces there. Like Derek Favors, he can do enough coming off of the bench. Plus with
hey man, he got 6 fouls. He gonna use them.
He got 6 fouls. You might as well go ahead and put PG on the ground. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead and do something, make something happen there. But I'm gonna end up rolling with the Jazz on this one. I know some of my homies, they gonna kill me for that, but it is what it is. You see me picking the Jazz,
hey,
like
man,
you call time out instantly.
Nothing wrong when you see it, like nothing wrong when you see it.
Exactly. So I'm rolling with the Jazz on that one. I don't really have too much for this one. So unless Kawhi goes all the way in for this one. So
right, unless Kawhi goes Jordan or Kobe, then it'll be another. Then Clippers definitely win.
Exactly.
But that's what he got to do.
Yeah, and then one of my other favorite matchup out of this part of the bracket, round 2, Nuggets Suns. Oh boy, this was the toughest pick. This was the toughest pick here.
I agree.
The Suns were my sleeper team here at the very beginning of the season. They did great by securing a top 5 seed here. But I'm rolling Nuggets on this one. I think this is where the bus stops. Because I'm still leery about that Chris Paul injury. Yes, he's had a little bit of time to kind of heal and whatnot, but Joker does so much. Like I don't think unless Ayton takes his game to another level. Like unless he takes his game to another level, that would be the only way that the Suns would have a chance. But I'm going Nuggets in 7. This is a 7-game series for me.
Dang. Boy, pick the Suns to be his preseason, his sleeper. Now they come up, he can pick them to get to the conference final, and he going with them. And I'm going with Denver too. Because guess what? Jokic is a bad man, boy.
MVP.
You got to be now. Like it ain't no debate. Like he the best player. He playing the best basketball out of anybody.
Yeah.
You can't guard him. Aiden ain't seen the moves. He thought he didn't seen some moves. He ain't seen the moves he about to see. Yeah. Oh shit. Oh, we back. Okay, yeah. Yeah, he ain't came close to seeing none of the moves he about to see coming from Big Yoke. So he got his work cut out for him. If Jokic get him in foul trouble, it's a wrap because Kaminsky ain't ready. He ain't got no bricks in his pocket. So that's over with. Again, the Chris Paul thing, I'm leery about, and then Denver got some good guard. I mean, Capazzo and Monte Morris, they're good enough to stay. I guess stay
On
in
the
front
floor.
of Chris Paul. Yeah, to stay in front of Chris Paul to make it, so where he don't get them easy mid-range jumpers, coming off that elbow, like he was getting all last series.
Yep.
And but the one thing is they don't really have an answer for Booker.
Not one.
Unless they try to go big unless they put Aaron Gordon on them to try to put some size on them and some to make them shoot over somebody. Cause who starts? I don't even know who really starts. Oh, Austin Rivers started, right?
Yeah,
I think
he's taking
Austin and Campazzo are
Yeah.
starting, I think.
Yeah, because Morris finishes the game.
Okay. Yeah, so I guess Austin going to start off on Booker.
Good luck.
And right. And trying
you
to
got a tough time with Dame.
Oh Lord. This guy's taller.
Yeah, book
And
score
can get just as hot.
Yeah. Especially
Well,
he's the current mid-range god. Him and Kawhi. They're the mid-range
mid-range.
gods.
It's mid-range over.
Yeah.
He's Brandon Rowe with a 3-point shot. How about that?
Come on.
A real 3-point shot.
Come on.
But I like this series though, because they got all these young stars. You got Booker, Jokic, Michael Porter Jr., and maybe one day Ayton.
Yeah.
And then we forgot Jamal Murray, who ain't playing. So there's got a lot of young stars on these teams. But I think it's gonna come down to the battle of the benches. And I think Denver's bench has enough to offset. Because Phoenix bench played outstanding last series. But I think Denver with Morris and who was their backup center? I don't even know.
Is it Jermichael Green?
Oh yeah, Jermichael Green be making shots, driving me. Jermichael Green, Morris, and I know I missed. Oh, Will Barton might even come back.
Will Barton, yeah. He's he has that hip injury or something like that he's dealing with.
Something like that. So yeah, he can come back and give you some. He's always good for 15 points a game. So I think that's what it's gonna come down to, and ultimately that Jokic matchup. I think he's gonna be drawing them double teams, kicking it out to some shooting. It's too much Jokic. He's just in his zone right now. So I got the Nuggets in 6.
I think Joker definitely gets into his bag in this one. That's what I think this really just cements everything for him right here in this part of the series. So I'm rolling Nuggets in 7. I love what the Suns have done this year. So to be determined. And so that pretty much just wraps it up there. And now here we on the back end of the show, we have a couple. We'll start with good. Well, we'll go ahead and get this negative. We'll go ahead and get the negatives out the way. Pardon me. We'll go ahead and get these negatives out the way. As happy as I am to have crowds back in these games, these fans have been wild, like absolutely wild, like out of control. They tripping out, like you name it, they doing wrong. Like you can pick whatever, but they're doing absolutely wrong here. From fans dumping popcorn on Westbrook as he's going into the tunnel because he's hurt. The Utah fans cussing out John Morant's parents or his mother and having like racist comments toward his mother. The fans in New York spitting on Trae Young. And then it's a group of fans like Denver, Utah, Oklahoma, kind of like that stretch of teams there, that fan base. They've had some continued issues with fans over the years. And I feel like there's one more fans. Boston with Kyrie, and that's
then
not the first time I've heard.
Then the Lakers fan that ran, the Suns fan that ran on the game.
The Wizards fan that ran on the court. The Wizards and the
that's the Wizards.
That fan that ran onto the court, and like, come on, y'all, like, what are we doing? Like, well, what are they doing? Like, I feel like if a fan feels like they can come on the court, or you want to spit on somebody, or you want to dump something on somebody, you deserve exactly what you get. And if said player calls your hands, you're gonna have to see them. You know what I'm saying? Like, like we say, 5 minutes, lock the door. You know what I'm saying? Whoever come out first.
5 minute fade.
5 minute fade. You know what I'm saying? Like if that's what you really want, like then have it on your mind. If that's what you're paying big money for, and big money in the playoffs in the middle of a pandemic, that's what you want. 5 minute fade is definitely what you deserve then. So that's all I have about those negative fans. And we all know how Boston fans get down. So I don't think there's too much to elaborate there on that.
Right. I just think that they got to start putting charges on these fans. Number one, don't just ban them from one arena, ban them from all of them. I don't know how you would do that, but I'm banning you from all of them. So if you wanna act a fool, I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna show you can act a fool bigger than you. I'm kicking them out of. I'm banning them from all of them. I don't know how long, but you can't come here for a nice little minute.
Indefinite.
Right. It's whatever you did in it, you definitely can't come back there no more. So the only time you can catch a game is in a whole nother state. You gotta travel if you want to see your team play. Yeah, I don't know I guess people are kind of feeling like this sense of entitlement and just somehow they think that these players are like some type of video game, or like this is a game, or like yeah, they playing the game, but this real life. Like these real people, like they ain't just somebody like, oh, I'm mad, let me do something wild to this person who I know can't do nothing back to me, because if they do something to me, they get in trouble. And I'm not. They just got this entitled sense of just customer. Yeah, I'm a paying customer. I can do it. No, you can't. And I working in retail I have what they always say, the number one rule, what the customer's always right. That's the biggest lie anybody ever told.
Lies.
Ever told. And I'm like, just because you paying money, you can do what you want to do.
That don't work. Say and act and do.
Right. Please. I'm like, no amount of money is can cover up disrespect. And that's one thing I don't like. So kick them out, press charges on them, put the hardest charges on them, whatever you can do. Assault, because in the streets, that's like an assault or assault with a deadly weapon or whatever that's assault charge. Give it to them.
Yeah.
I want to give them a felony. I don't care if they can't get a job. Oh, well, they shouldn't have did nothing stupid to somebody that they wouldn't have done nothing to if they would have saw them outside.
I promise.
At all. So let's put that out there. So yeah, man, these fans, they need to get their act together, because if they keep acting like this, look, I'm up with shutting it all back down.
Yeah.
Everybody can go home.
Everybody go back home. Enjoy it from your couch.
Right. And I wouldn't be mad at the players if they're just like, you know what? I ain't playing. They come in here and do this. We ain't playing there. Or I ain't playing tonight. Like, I can't be mad at them. That's some people, that's how they feel. If they don't feel safe, what I'm gonna say.
Yeah. That's just like and this isn't going back to the Westbrook incident where the fan dumped popcorn on him. Like, that's not his first incident in Philly. I remember 1 year, it may have been opening night or opening week. Like, he went to the rim and like a fan, like the ball went into maybe like the third row, and the fan jumped up and put like the bird in his face. I'm like, fam, like what? And that's where the meme comes where Westbrook was like,
oh, yeah, man was like 60 years old.
Yeah, like what's wrong with you? Like, dog, like if Russ would have wild out and just punched you in the face, I wouldn't be mad. Like, I wouldn't be mad at all. And like, you get what you deserve. Like, you get what you deserve. So 5 minutes fade. I suggest everybody bring it back. And we call it even. So that's what I have with that. Then we have, I kind of want to get to Coach K real quick. Coach K, he's retiring, and that'll kind of wrap us back to Brad Stevens. So Coach K, legendary coach at the University of Duke, he is retiring after this upcoming basketball season with the Duke Blue Devils. He will be retiring. Coach K has been coaching at Duke since, I don't know, maybe my entire life.
At least 38, 40 years, something like that.
Yeah, so I'm not even 30. So Coach K has been coaching at Duke my entire life, even before that. So salute to Coach K. Great career, amazing talent, a lot of talent that he's put into the league, whether if they've been successful or not. he's definitely just shown his way of finding talent, coaching talent, putting them into the league. And aside from Duke basketball, I'm more impressed with what Coach K has been able to do with USA basketball. Being able to put all those talented pieces together, and for him to be able to go out and have success with USA. Yes, you have the best players in the world on your team, but to be able to put those players in positions to succeed, I'll salute that, because everybody can't do it. So salute to Coach K.
Yeah, I mean, it's time. Once you've been doing something for 35, 40 years, like, all right, like, how much longer are we gonna do this?
Yeah.
But he's been great for basketball. He brought a school that was not known for basketball at all to one of the three most prominent basketball schools in all of college. So yeah, we gonna give him his flowers. He's done it, and he's also done it like with a whole different style. Like he used to like the older players that stayed 4 years, and then he also won with the players that came for just one and 2 years. Yeah. So he was good at adjusting. You never really heard a bad word about him from none of his players. Like most of them seem to like him. A lot of the NBA players respect him, and he's gonna be missed. But that gives somebody a new opportunity to start something fresh out down there at Duke and Carolina.
Mm-hmm. So John Shire is taking his spot. So we'll see how that turns out moving forward.
Really?
Yeah, John Shire is taking his place. So salute to Coach K. John Shire, you got big shoes to fill, buddy. So good luck with that. And Brad Stevens. Brad Stevens kind of got fired, kind of quit coaching, but was promoted to the front office of the Boston Celtics. And right. And I found that announcement really convenient, because that announcement came maybe like a couple hours before the Coach K retirement announcement came into play. So, and I've always viewed Brad Stevens as Coach K's replacement at Duke, especially with Brad Stevens turning down the reported $70 million offered by the University of Indiana. Brad Stevens turning that down. Then there was some reports Brad Stevens not really seeing eye to eye with some of the players. Brad Stevens not he's being burnt out after the bubble experiment. There was some of those reports, but Brad Stevens moving up into the front office as either president or GM, but he's definitely under the basketball operations part of the Boston Celtics now, as Danny Ainge decides to retire and rides off into the sunset. So one thing that I do find interesting about this here is Brad Stevens moves into that position that Danny Ainge was filling. But Danny Ainge had all those picks from the Nets. And somehow the Nets have gotten ahead of the Celtics, because you remember the Celtics, they fleeced them. They unloaded Paul Pierce, KG, some other pieces. I think Joe Johnson was a part of that. Joe Johnson were a part of those Nets teams with KG and Paul Pierce. But the Celtics were kind of like in primetime position for, I don't know, they had all these assets. That was the word that was going around. Assets. You fast forward, and now Brad Stevens is in space. The Nets are ahead of the Celtics, and here we are.
Yeah, it was so random that all this happened. But one thing I do know is I've heard that Danny Ainge might be coming back to Portland as their president of operations. So that's one thing to be look out for. Hopefully he comes back, and maybe we can get some assets or something, because we need something. We need help. It's just strange that you go from coaching to you're like, all right, we about to have a GM void. Well, let's move up the coach now. All right, now we got a coaching void. I think it's more easier to replace a GM than a coach, and a good coach, at least in my opinion. Yeah. So I don't know who Boston is like. Maybe Jason Kidd, since he ain't take that. Maybe he want to get looked at. I don't know who they gonna look at as far as like taking over, especially leading this young team that they about to have with high expectations and the talent that they got on the roster. Yeah, it was just strange. But they did say that one reason why Brad didn't mind taking that job is because he is a big family guy and it's less stressful than being an NBA coach. You know, being on the road so much. Like when you're a GM, you know, you kind of can make your own schedule to maneuver around some stuff. So you get a little bit more freedom, and I think that's one thing. He's still young, and his kids are young, so he probably wants to be around them a little bit more while they're young. So I can understand why he want to do that. But yeah, it's just a big void because people were hiring because he was like the golden hire. He became for a coach, but now you gotta, and then now you have to come replace him, a guy that went to Eastern Conference Finals, got close again, been in the playoffs pretty much every year. Now you gotta start over to listen to a new voice. I'm gonna be interesting to see that it's possible that the Celtics and the Lakers could have coaching
changes. Yeah, absolutely. And so to be determined. Well, to be determined to see how everything kind of shakes out with the Celtics moving forward, especially with who they decide to hire as their next coach. I see a name that's being floated out there for the Celtics in the last like 48 hours. It's been Sam Cassell has been the go-to name to go ahead and replace Brad Stevens on the coaching bench. But Brad Stevens, he's had success, as you stated, went to the Eastern Conference Finals a couple of times, got eliminated by LeBron. LeBron and those Cavs teams. No shame in that because it is, you know, younger LeBron. Well, right. a couple years younger LeBron. So no shame in that. But yeah, so that's it's to be determined how the Celtics really shake things out and how things just look moving forward. And to maybe my favorite part of the show here right now is we had this discussion kind of like throughout the week. It's just how talented the league is. Not only currently, but the next group that's under the next group. You know what I mean? Like,
right. But before we dive into that, let me grab some so we can get into this.
Right. I'm about to pause. So yeah, we have these young stars here in the league, and this is my favorite part of the show here, where we have all these young stars here, and it's the generation that's under it's the generation under the generation. So aside from everybody that's LeBron's age or older, or maybe a couple of years younger, let's say 34, 33, and even under the class of that group. So like you're under the group of Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis, Kawhi Leonard, PG, guys like that, even under that group. There's under the group of Jimmy Butler, like it's another group of guys that are like supremely talented. We talked about this a lot during the week, but Eastern Conference, I'm just kind of looking at this is just off the top of the dome, and as I'm just kind of looking down, you got Jason Tatum, Julius Randle, Jaylen Brown, Bradley Beal, he's young, Trae Young, LaMelo, Bam in Miami, Ja Morant in Memphis, Zion in New Orleans. Lonzo is still really good. Like I like what Lonzo brings to the league. Luka is part of the mix.
Big Luka, Jokic,
the entire Nuggets team, like the entire Nuggets team. Devin Booker, Spider. Like I'm sure the Lakers are going to be able to make some type of move to get some young piece somewhere down the line. But I say all that to say, all those guys will be the guys going forward. And this is maybe the most talented the league has been in, maybe since the mid 2000s.
Right. What we said, yeah, like about 15 years ago. Yeah, it's just so
Joel
it happened
Embiid.
so.
I forgot to mention that.
Bro, Ben
could be a lot better. He can improve. He still has time.
Right. it just happened so fast. Like I feel like at one point it was kind of the league was kind of dull.
Yeah.
Like man, the stars were just like the stars were the stars, and nobody was like progressing or getting better. I mean, you had the people come in like the Karis LeVerts came and Oladipo showed his face, and we forget about Sabonis. Like he just don't play.
I forgot Anthony Edwards in Minnesota. Karl-Anthony Towns in Minnesota.
Town's still young.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like so
Brandon
all
Ingram. You know what I mean? Like
all the teams have majority of the teams have somebody that they're looking at that we're like, wow.
Yeah.
Like we could probably got something special. There's so many players that the league has now like that it's gonna be in real good hands because like LeBron and Steph carried it for as long as they could carry. And I think people kind of burnt out during that time because this season would be the first time since 2010 that the finals didn't have either Steph or LeBron. That's a long time.
Change the guard.
To see the same people every single year. So yes, a big change. Then it's just that the players now are so. It's not that they're just good players, like they're just so skilled. Yeah. That's what makes it like, wow. Like it's not we got this center. He's good at blocking shots and dunking. No, we got this 6'10" small forward who can shoot threes, but can dribble like a 2 and make passes like a 1. He faster than some people point guards. Like it's just a lot of athletic freaks with high basketball skills. And I think skill sets, that's what happened. The skill set kind of diminished. Like right after Kobe era, like I guess you can throw LeBron era in there too. Like the skill set the LeBron era, they skill set wasn't as high as as previous generations. Like they were relying a lot on athleticism and speed. But now you're seeing it get back to ball handling, passing, shooting, off ball stuff is starting to come back in. Yeah. So I like where the league is heading, and they just as long as they keep doing a good job of marketing all these young players, don't just try to just focus on one player and just hope that they can carry for the next 10 years. Because LeBron's, Jordan's, Kobe's, those are like anomalies. Yeah. Like those are certain individuals can carry for a while, but I just want them to put the spotlight on try to put the spotlight on whoever they can if they want this game to grow, because the best player in the league, the two best players in the league might be international. It could be 3. Giannis, Embiid, could be 4.
4. Yeah.
Giannis, Embiid, Jokic, and Doncic could be your 4 best players in the league, and they ain't now one of them from here.
Yeah. That's
fact. So just keep, as long as the league does a good job, keep marketing the stars. Hopefully some of these stars be like, I want to stay in Memphis, like a Ja Morant. Maybe he wants to stay in. Hopefully he does. A Zion, stay in the small market in New Orleans, then just start I guess building like some rivalries too. Yeah. Like I like the Knicks Hawks thing. Like I like what they got going on. Phoenix and LA look like they about to have they got some stuff going on. So yeah. I like it. And I'm very interested in seeing what it's gonna turn out to be.
Yeah. Booker and Trae Young, they definitely stepped into that villain role. If you've been watching Book over the I don't know, if you've been watching Book's career, he's embraced that early. Like he has that asshole. Like he has that, like that, you know what I'm saying? Like he has that nah, fuck you to his game. He has that to his game and just to his demeanor. So I appreciate how they've embraced that.
All right. I would say out of all the young players all the people look up to Kobe, he mentally, he's the closest.
Yep.
Like he got it there that I don't care. I know how good I am. And I know what I can do. Like he got it. He got that there. A lot of them got the skill, but he got the mind of I'm just that bad. And somebody gonna have to show me that I ain't. Yeah. But I love it.
Mm-hmm. between him and then Chris Paul puts the battery in his back. That only empowers him even more. He was like that before Chris Paul, but Chris Paul pushes that on, that pushes that even further, and I love that.
Right. That expectation finally came, and he was like, "Finally, I got some help. I got some real help." That's all. He was like, "That's all. Just give me somebody that can take some of this stuff off of me, because everybody else got 2 or 3, 4 people, and it's me and
the homies.
Yeah, me and Jay Crowder can't get it done.
Right.
So
right.
we need somebody else up here, and they got him somebody, at least for now. And now what they need to do is find somebody to replace him in order to keep Booker in Phoenix.
Yeah, because there's a lot of reports that prior to them having a good season, that Book was interested in the Knicks. So, and this is prior to everybody's success this season. So that there is prior to everybody's success this season. So I mean, hey, you never know. You never know. Never know. But as far as like the young talent here coming up, I would say my favorites, Book, LaMelo, Anthony Edwards, Luca, and God. I like what Zion can do, but I need to see more. So I would put Ja in his place. That would be my 5. Jason Tatum, he's really good. Y'all know how I feel about Jason Tatum. I like Jaylen Brown a bit more, but every time I talk crazy about Jason Tatum, like he goes off and he scores like 50 or 60. So Jason Tatum, you get my respect. I'm not going to say anything bad about you ever again. So. But you know what? I'm removing John. I'm putting Jason Tatum in the 5. Flowers are being given.
Hey man, it's so many people that can be in that like young 5. Like I don't think nobody could be mad at anybody, because if you see what they doing now, some of them what they doing now, some of them they potential. I'm like, shoot, you don't know who in the world gonna emerge as the best player. Because I'm like, I forgot. You said LaMelo, I was like, man, I forgot about him, and he probably gonna end up being the best point guard. But then you got Ja, you got Luca, who already cemented. You got Trae, who's showing his tail. It's bro, I don't even know. I'm trying to pick one favorite, and I think Jokic is one me over.
Yeah,
I mean,
my bad,
bro. Because I just watching it. How I'm like, I ain't seen nothing like this dude. Well, I have, but I haven't.
Yeah, not like this. And your comparison earlier, whenever you said Tim Duncan, and it's really like Tim Duncan and Dirk like blended. Like Tim Duncan, Dirk,
Tim Dirk.
Powell, Tim Dirk, Powell.
Tim
you know what I'm
Durkin.
saying? Like it's really like those three like combined. Like Dirk's jumper, Tim's just overall calmness and his you're not gonna speed me up. I'm gonna control the entire game. And Powell's overall passing. Tim is a great passer too, but
his passing isn't even better than Powell's. He passed he really passed like a guard.
Yeah, it's incredible. It's incredible what all these young guys can do, and pretty much all these guys I would place them at 27. I think we mentioned Dame, but I would kind of put Dame in that mix with
I would.
He's about 30.
Yeah, he's 30. So I would anybody under 30.
Yeah. So and I think that's Kevin Durant. He's past 30. So yeah, and I think pretty much the oldest on that list is Brad. Brad maybe Bradley Beal. Maybe
28.
Yeah, he's already. So Brad is the youngest. You know what I'm saying? Well, the oldest. But like you say, you never know how these things can shake out, especially with LaMelo being young as he is. 5 years, he could be a I would say above average 3-point shooter. You know what I mean?
Right.
You know, Trae Young could possibly track down some of Steph's records, because we know Steph is going to break some records. So you never know. Trae could catch Steph because Trae is more successful earlier than what Steph has been. So you never know.
That's true. Because I randomly looked up stats from that draft class with Steph draft class. I was like, wait, Harden got more points than Steph? But then I thought about it. Oh, Steph really didn't become Steph until Monte Ellis kind of pretty much, I guess, left.
Yeah.
So it was like a 2.5 year kind of waiting period for Steph to finally get to that. Oh, he's scoring 25 points a game now. So and people didn't think Steph was gonna turn into what he turned into. So
yeah,
you
there's
you
no
never
telling
know.
who else is next to emerge.
Ain't no telling. What if Wiseman or Ayton just take off?
I like Dylan Brooks too. I like him too in Memphis. Like I see he looks like one of those dudes that can do it all. Like I see 23 plus points a game in his future. He looks like he accepts the challenge of guarding your team's best player. He got that grit, that attitude to him too. Like I'm out here, let's jump ball, let's get to it. Like let's get straight to hooping.
Another young Bogdanovich for Atlanta.
Yeah.
He made up with some stuff. And another person I want to watch too is Bridges from Phoenix.
And
he kind of
Charlotte.
gets lost in the shuffle because he got the Kobe Bryant body type. Devin Booker got the game, but his game ain't no slouch either though. So I like Bridges as a young one of the other young players too that I want to see going forward.
And Miles Bridges in Charlotte as well. So him and LaMelo together, because Miles in Charlotte, he's a instant highlight. He might have the best dunks of the year, and Ja may have the best missed dunks of the year as well. like right. Ja may have like the best missed dunks of all time. Like across the board from whenever
he might have, but he honestly he might have the best dunks this year too though. All his dunks, his head be over the rim, which is ridiculous.
Yeah. But that boy, that's a supreme athlete. Supreme athlete. So yeah, man. So we got anything else before we go ahead and wrap up?
What else did we not touch on too much of? No.
Did round one live up to your expectations?
I guess I would say it did. Because I was engaged. So yeah, it did. This is the first time I was engaged in a round one in a long time. The only series I really didn't watch I didn't watch much of two, was the Heat series and the
Brooklyn and the Celtics.
No, I watched that one. 76. I didn't watch them, but the other ones I watched. Like I pretty much watched every game. Last thing, I was thinking, I was like, how the Phoenix Suns played. Could this be their version of the 2006 Heat? Remember when Shaq came, got them to the finals? Yeah. Dwayne Wade took over the finals. I was like, could this be Devin Booker's 06 Dwayne Wade moment?
Could be. I'm not mad at that because you got a vet in there that knows how to win. Yes, Chris hasn't won no championship. However, Hall of Fame player. You never know.
Very good role players.
Yeah. And they're learning on the fly. Like they're learning everything on the fly. They're adjusting on the fly. They're learning
how to scared.
Yeah, they're not scared at all. Not scared at all. And going back to your point about the first round, I'm similar to you. Normally, like the first round is kind of like a snooze fest for me. A part of me hopes that the league will go back to a 5-game series for the first round and the first round only, but the owners will never agree to that because that's more money that they're going to lose.
Right.
So they'll never agree to that. But 9 times out of 10, normally the first round is a snooze fest. But this was a good bracket for the first round, and the second round looks pretty good as well. So that's about it. That's all I got, bro.
Oh yeah, shout out Zach LaVine too as one of the young players. I don't know how you let us forget him.
I was trying to not let my Bulls biasness get in there. But since we're here,
he was an all-star. He deserved it.
Yeah,
wasn't he all-star?
Yeah, he made the all-star team this year. That's how we got Big Boo over there, and him as well. You know what I mean? Like Vujicic, Zach LaVine, Kobe White to be determined. So you know what I'm saying? We'll see, but. Yeah, I was trying not to let my Bulls biases get in here. I was trying to go an episode without talking about the Bulls, but here we are. So this was a great show. I enjoyed this one here. This was episode 16 of the Perspective Podcast. We're gonna call this one Coming of Age. We will be back with another breakdown here as soon as round 2 concludes. Whenever it does concludes, hopefully we continue to have good basketball. Hopefully we have injury-free basketball as this round continues to unfold as well. And so until next time, y'all make sure y'all check out all of Tevin's socials. I have those listed below in the bio. I make sure you check out the hat store, finesseandsince93.com. And make sure you like, subscribe, share with a friend, share with a homie. Listen to this while you're washing the car. Listen to this while you're cleaning the house. Listen to this while you're working out. Don't matter, but just share it with somebody. So until next time, y'all, I thank y'all for tuning in. And until next time, y'all.
Proceed to presidentially blow up. I'm switching lanes and sipping drink, the music up, my speakers